a Canadian radio sanctuary podcast.
We've done a lot of touring in the States. So we've had a hit in Boston, which is encouraging. It's kind of opening the door. There's a station down there, WBCN. We spoke to Go-Go's, and they wouldn't touch the first album. They liked what they heard on the second, and I hope they like what they hear on the third. We got ground support growing in the Eastern Seaboard. You know, we tour there quite a bit, and I think that people like what they see. It's just a matter of, again, convincing the radio stations, which has been a problem right across the board. We worked on the new album with these two guys, Richie Cordell and Glenn Kolotkin, and that started about September of '82, and with doing that and the videos and then a money-making Christmas bonus tour in December, we pretty well finished up 1982. It was kind of a holding pattern year, you know. You have those occasionally. You reach a certain plateau, and until you get the next big sort of push, then you find yourself sort of circling the airport for a while, you know, and you're hoping that the drinks will last. We try to streamline it and pick the best things that we do. You know, you got 6 geniuses in there, sort of struggling to get their ideas down, plus 2 maniac producers. So it ended up, again, a potpourri, which kind of wears well on us, I think. You know, we've always been a band that one album will contain a lot of styles on it. Mm-hmm. I like that approach. Record companies hate that approach, but this is almost like Cognac revisited in a lot of ways. You know, it's got that sort of spunk, it's got that sort of humor, but with the sophistication of rapid, you know. But again, I say it's hard to sort of put your finger down on what you like exactly because I'm so close to it.
In the case of Rapid, when you did Real Enough, you had some backup with the Nylons. Are there any little surprises in this time? Some guest appearances?
No real surprises. We did a duet with Simon, a keyboard player. He's got a nice bass voice. Yeah, I did a duet on one of the songs with him. But no sort of outside musician from this one.
Real enough. Real enough.
No is on the album. We sort of played around with it and made it a lot like Shout. You know the old tune, Shout, give it to me, Shout. I think it works. It's hypnotic. I mean, all I sing is no, and it's almost like the kind of thing you would hear on a health foods radio station. It's a great you know, no. It was fun to do because it was the last song that we recorded, and we got everything else, and we had our ideas basically down, and it was Saturday night, late, and Monday we were going to start talking about doing the mix, and so we just got out there, and there was a bunch of friends down at Water Street, and we just started playing the song, and the producer either had too much vodka or actually liked it. Actually went crazy, and we started building it. And it works. We got all our friends in there clapping and singing along, so it was a good party pack.
Are there any slower songs, like one of my favorites is River from the Past? Anything like that?
Yeah, there's one called Sound Around Summer that has a feel. I always like throwing a couple ballads on because A, I like singing them, and B, it's good groove music, you know, sitting on the couch there, Barry Manilow style. I think they also allow me as a vocalist to sort of try things that I haven't tried before. Record companies, they want you to be like whatever's number one right now. I mean, several years ago, the pressure was to be like Tom Petty. Now the pressure is to be like Men at Work, you know, and you're kind of going, Jesus, I can't, you know, figure out the line between the two, but they go, oh, no, you're just like these guys, honest you are, so you kind of shake your head and say, yeah. If anything, I mean, we're probably closer to Men at Work than we are to Tom Petty, but still, you got to be what you are, and you got to sort of put your influences into it and hope for the best. I think it's a matter of convincing people what you have is viable.
Where was the new album done? Any details on the studio work?
We did it in Water Street down in Gastown, which I liked myself because it has a nice ambience. I like the red brick. I'm from the East, so I need a dose of it every couple months. And then we mixed the Kingdom Sound on Long Island. Len and Richie are used to working there. Actually, though, I think they regretted going back to do the mix there just because they were having such a great time out here.
You're mentioning the Boston airplay support for Doug and the Slugs. Have you done very well then as far as club work there? Has it been successful?
Yeah. I mean, the first time we went there, I guess it was in about early 80. You know, there was like 20 people in a club or something. Now we go back in Boston and in Albany, you know, we can draw from 700 to 1,000. Like in Albany, we play a room like the Commodore, Albany, New York, the capital. We seem to do good in capitals of states for some reason. We always did good in Victoria. So now we're sort of boosting that by the little airplay that we get plus word of mouth. And also down there, especially in the Eastern Seaboard, the college stations have really taken over a role of sort of progressive FM, progressive in a sense of playing new music really fast. And it's good to have a strong college station. Like some of those stations have like, you know, 80,000 listeners because they're on a, you know, large population center. And it's good to have them happening because it kicks the ass of the FM to sort of keep in touch with what's happening just on the level below them. We get a lot of airplay on the college station, which helps in those cities. This is a funny one for me because the pressure was on, okay, we need the hit. We need the big song. Like it was an internal pressure, like because in order to keep up touring and spreading the word, so to speak, you have to get enough airplay that when you go into a town, you at least attract a full house. So there was the pressure that, plus to the band and everybody was talking about, okay, maybe it's time to try doing somebody else's songs. So there's 2 songs on the album that aren't mine. One of them being No, No, No by the Human Beings, and the other one being Who Knows How to Make Love Stay. I think it was a worthwhile experiment because it forces me as a chief songwriter to sort of open up and look at what is selling, what is happening, what sounds good, other than being insulated and just looking at your own material. I think it's good to have my ass kicked every once in a while. And I think that's what this project was, a way of getting me to sort of realign my thinking with what's sort of working out there, without sort of taking it so far that it becomes very Manilow. So it was probably hardest for me in that sense. For the guitar players, it was a good album to do because they finally started getting the guitar tones that they always loved, you know. And of course the drummer hated it because he sat and there went and boot, 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 8 hours and still didn't get his drum sound down. So to me, the whole project was a real learning experience just because we were forced to sort of sit back and have somebody direct us. I learned a lot from it. First 2 we sort of did ourselves, and a lot of mistakes, but a lot of real nice moments. On this particular one, we took the direction, and I think it improved everybody's studio sense, but I don't know if I'd want that for the 4th album. I mean, we always try to make every album a different experience that helps us to grow, as Ann Morrissey always says. We want to grow too, Ann.